How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the Minecraft Fossils and Archaeology playthrough. Today, I want to build a museum. This is the layout for the museum. Now, this museum in particular, I think, is going to be kind of special because I'm actually basing it off of the Morrison Natural History Museum, which is the museum that I volunteer at. It's not the biggest museum in the world, as you can see right here, but it is one that's near and dear to my heart. So this is the basic layout. First, you walk in over here. Of course, you walk in right here, and then you're inside a gift shop. All the gifts will be over here, and on this side, there will be some of the first exhibits, but I might actually expand that a little bit more to go maybe about right there. That might be a little bit more accurate. I mean, obviously it doesn't have to be one-to-one, but it'd still be kind of nice to have some extra space right here. In fact, we could probably go maybe to about right there. Probably just go in right here like this. So like I said, you walk in over there and then there will be a gift shop right here. This is the office. I made it extremely small. It's not this small in real life because I just didn't want it to take up too much space, considering the fact we can, we want to try to shove some exhibits in here. But yeah, that's the office. The bathrooms would go right here, but I just removed those entirely. And then in here is a lot of the Jurassic exhibits. Down over here continues the Jurassic exhibit. And then there's actually stairs. There's a second floor that has the Cretaceous and the Ice Age exhibit. So that's what we're doing. Yeah, without further ado, let's just get into it. This is a very cool little museum, though. It was once a sort of, it was once a house, basically. It was a house that was purchased and turned into a museum. And it's like a log cabin. It's very cool. Aesthetically, it looks really awesome, if you ask me. Okay, that's the outer wall for the lower floor. And for the inside wall, I'm basically just using some spruce planks. Kind of spruce it up, am I right? Okay, now those are the inside walls. So next up, I guess I'll place down the stairs the way they go up like this. What they basically do is they go up and then they turn to the right. But I don't know if I really need to do that. Just to save a little bit more space and to kind of save some resources, I'll just have them go straight up. And then inside here, you'll see like a Utah raptor skeleton and a Triceratops skull, a Torosaurus skull. I don't think I could do that stuff in Minecraft, so I might have to do some placeholders, but we can do something similar to it. At least like the Utah Raptor. I don't think we could do the Utah Raptor. I'm pretty sure it's not in Fossils and Archaeology. Same goes for the Torosaurus. Okay, but down here is like a really notable one because you walk in, and then you turn to your left, and there's a T-Rex staring at you. We actually have a replica of Stan right there. Right next to an Allosaurus skull. So we're going to try to emulate something like that, but I don't know exactly how we're going to do that. But again, we'll certainly try. Okay, and of course, this is all like enclosed inside a wall, so I'll go ahead and just do this. They're relatively thin stairs, like it's nothing too crazy, so this is actually a little bit accurate. You could just walk up here like that. And then I'll have a wall go over here, and this will represent our mysterious closet. Because we have like a closet. Like there's a closet door. Like more so right around here, but that kind of... Like I'll put a door right here, and I'll say, oh, it's the mysterious closet. Okay. Yeah, I think that works. And I think the floor on the Cretaceous room... Like there's a carpet up there. But until... Like I'll make a bunch of carpet. I need to set up a sheep farm to do that first, and then I'll have to get some dye and whatnot. But for now, I'll just put the spruce wood as the floor, which is pretty accurate. This is a pretty creaky building. There's a lot of like hardwood floors. There's actually a door right here, so I'll dig out right here. Yeah, if you guys are like ever in the Morrison area, like in the Denver area, I recommend checking out the Morrison Museum. Like, it really is a nice little stop. There's a lot of cool things to check out. We actually have the Stegosaurus holotype. At the very least, a part of the Stegosaurus holotype. As in, we have like the first best fossils that speak, like that are used to identify Stegosaurus. Plus, you get to see a full replica of Stan, which I think is pretty special. Now, they also recently painted the walls in the Morrison Museum, so like I know that I've probably been showing some pictures, and you'll notice that like this wall is green and whatnot. I think I'm going to replace that with concrete or something, just to make it look a little bit more accurate. But for now, this is what we'll do. It doesn't look terrible. It could look kind of wonky. That is the lower floor. Now I think we should start like get started on this floor up here. Now, the outside of the top floor actually has like a sort of red coloration. I have no idea how good this is going to look, but I figured we can try some of the redwood logs. Just to, we'll just try it out. Again, I have no idea if this will look good or not, but that is something that the museum does have. It's not too far off from the red coloration that the museum does have, so honestly, this might work. First, I just want to, once again, get the layout. So, up here, like I said, this is all the Cretaceous section. Man, that rain. Can I sleep? Does this count as a thunderstorm? Can I sleep? I can't. This is not a thunderstorm. I mean, I don't think it's too bad audio-wise, so it should be all right. I just need to turn down my headset. But like I said, this room right here is the Cretaceous room. I'll have the wall separating right here. And then there's a door right about here that lets you enter and get into the Ice Age room. I actually might want to make this a little, well, I'm sure that's fine. So that's the Ice Age room. The Ice Age room is probably about, we'll say, this big right here. And then right in here, we'll have the lab. In fact, I think that I might make this my default lab. Like, I'll put some analyzers and some culture vats in here. That way it can just be, that's just, this is where the magic happens, that's kind of my thought. Now, there's also a balcony right outside. There's a door roughly about right here that lets you walk out to it. We'll make that like 3 wide so that you have like 2 blocks to walk around with. Oh my gosh, I could hear myself think. The balcony's almost done though, so yes, I know we need torches in here. I know, I just don't have any right now. I'm not as prepared as I'd like to say I am. Okay, we have the balcony. Very cool. Now I'll go ahead and put up some fences and also some, like, support pillars. Support pillars go up like this and like that. And there's, like, 2 of them. I'm having to look at a picture while I'm doing this. But I could put one, like, right here as well. And then one right here. Right, and then I can go a few blocks, like let's say 3. We'll put one right here, I think. That might be maybe a little bit more. We'll put one right here. I know that I'm spacing them kind of weird, but they are kind of spaced a little bit interestingly on the building. So it's not just a me thing, like that. And they are actually like stripped logs on the building, so I'll go and do that too. And like that, that actually doesn't look too bad. It's certainly looking a lot like it. Quite happy with it. And I realized that I think I'm going to have to get, like, I'm probably going to have to plant some redwoods here pretty soon. Just to get more of that wood. This is certainly an interesting shade of red. I don't know if I'm going to end up using it, but at the very least, it'll be a placeholder for now. Okay, so that's all I'm going to do for now on the second floor. I think the rest of the episode, we're just going to focus on this, on the bottom floor. This is probably going to be a multi-episode thing. So first of all, we need to get some torches made. I think I should have some coal. Of course, it's staring me right in the face. It's been a few weeks since I've played, so I'm not too sure with what I have and where I have it, Okay, but let's get some light in here regardless. Oh my gosh, it's kind of dark and spooky in here. I need to get like some more lights, some better lights. Okay, and there's actually a window like right around here. Get some natural light in here, which already looks better. There's not a lot of windows in this place. The office needs some light as well. This is basically like the ticket booth as well. This is where you pay for your ticket to get in. Okay, and then the floor. Now, again, it is carpeted. I don't have any wool, so I can't make any carpets or any of that, really. So instead, we're just going to put down something else. I'm kind of thinking maybe oak wood or something. I mean, the gift shop is actually more so concrete, whereas that over there is carpeted. But I might, I don't really think I have, I guess I could use, or like just do regular stone to represent the concrete. Of course, the color's not correct. It isn't just like a gray coloration. I'll just do wood throughout the whole thing for now until I can get more materials. Alrighty, floor's out. Alright, all the dirt is dug up. Now we just need to go and get the floor. Should I? Maybe I should use fur. I'm not too sure if I use fur, but it kind of matches the coloration that you see in the museum. Kind of. So we'll do that. I also need some oak wood for the display stands, because that is actually like a really close color to what they are. Well, at least it kind of brightens it up a little bit. It was looking kind of dire there for a second. Okay, here it is. It is all completely floored and everything. Now, I'm just going to go and grab some fossils, and I'm going to see what we can do with the exhibits. I'm not too sure yet, because there's not really too many full skeletons in the museum. Like, there's mainly a bunch of, like, skulls and things like that. Because, again, it's not the biggest building in the world. So I'm going to see what we can do. Now, first of all, there's Stan. Now, Stan has, like, a display thing right here. And what you're able to do, right, is, it's just his skull. And he's just staring at you from over here. I might not even... Honestly, these, like, just setting up the display things, it actually might take up too much space. Now, obviously, I don't think I could just get his head. And by I don't think, I mean I know I can't. I was thinking, like, I was considering maybe trying to glitch blocks through it, but I'm not too sure how well that'll work. Let's just get a T-Rex in here. Okay, there's the T-Rex. I'll just have him face forward, so he's, like, looking at everybody as they walk in. I also need to get some of my bones. Like that. I mean, it kind of, I mean, like, it's kind of the same effect. Again, like I mentioned, it's just Stan's skull that you see, and it's like on a platform right here, but that works too. It's just missing its tail, essentially. Now, right next to Stan, there is an Allosaurus, like an Allosaurus skull. I'm not too sure if we want to do honestly, because what I'm thinking is we might just put the Allosaurus right here. Because there's an Allosaurus skull right here. There's also an Allosaurus leg and an arm over here. So maybe we could just put the Allosaurus along this wall. Oh, how lucky. So we'll put it like right here. And we can kind of make almost a full skeleton of it, essentially. So that's kind of cool. We'll just have him face, like, we'll just take some creative liberties with it. All right, there we go. And right next over here, there's some Apatosaurus stuff. I'm not too sure what we could do with that. Because I don't think Apatosaurus is in the game. Other Diplodocids are. Like, I think this right here. Is this Diplodocus? Looks like Diplodocus. So we'll just put a Diplodocid here. Again, this is all for the Jurassic section. I guess we'll put it, like, right here. Here we go. A mini Diplodocus skeleton. I think that's Diplodocus. It certainly looks like it. Okay, smaller than the Allosaurus. It's a young Diplodocus. Then, as I mentioned over here, we have the Stegosaurus holotype. It's actually in a case right here. But right next to it, we have a Stegosaurus arm and a Stegosaurus leg. We also have a big block right here that is a Stegosaurus footprint and a baby Stegosaurus footprint. So because this is all just like the Stegosaurus section, I figure we could just put a Stegosaurus. Just one big Stegosaurus skeleton. There it is. Okay, so let's get that one larger. That's pretty cool, actually. We'll have it like right here. So you can walk up and you can just look at it. There we go. And then maybe I'll just put a block over here to have it represent the Stegosaurus footprint, because that's a pretty important centerpiece. Over here, there's actually Camptosaurus. There's a Camptosaurus footprint, there's a small Stegosaurus skull, and there's a Camptosaurus skull. I don't think I have space for that, so I think we'll just bypass that one. But we have these fellas, and actually that's kind of cool right here. Oh, and the reason why Stan's at the beginning, like at the beginning of the Jurassic room, is because he was moved recently. Because the Morrison Museum, we recently got a Torosaurus skull, and our curator wanted the Torosaurus skull to go up into the Cretaceous room so that you can compare it with the Triceratops skull. So the Torosaurus is like right here, and the Triceratops is right here. That way you can compare them and basically explain why Torosaurus is not a fully grown Triceratops. But Stan actually used to be right here, where the Torosaurus, or where the Triceratops is right now. And the Triceratops used to be where the Torosaurus currently is. So yeah, things have been moved around. In large part, one of the main reasons why we have stand downstairs is so that you can compare, like you can have the T-Rex skull right next to the Allosaurus skull, and you can compare the differences in different types of theropods, especially ones that were separated by 80 millions of years. As long as you like, you know, because I run tours and everybody else who runs tours, as long as we establish the fact that the T-Rex did not live in the Jurassic period, it's not really too big of a deal. But okay. Now that that's out of the way, so that all looks good. In here, there's another footprint block right here with more baby Stegosaurus footprints. There's a wall of, or like a stand that just has different sauropod skulls. One that's used to compare and contrast those guys, and one that's used to help explain how niche partitioning works, like how different sauropods can coexist. Like we have a Brontosaurus skull, a Diplodocus skull, and a Camarasaurus skull. And what you do basically is compare the shape of their teeth and the shape of their mouths to explain to folks how they coexisted with each other without constantly, you know, fighting one another for food. So I'll just put, what I'm thinking here is I'll put a Brachiosaurus, right? We won't change the size or anything. We'll just have a Brachiosaurus. And have it face this direction, and then we'll put another sauropod in the middle. Well, actually, the Camarasaurus is in the middle, and Camarasaurus is more closely related to Brachiosaurus, so I'll put the Camarasaurus here instead. I mean, the Brachiosaurus here. I don't think Camarasaurus is in the game, is it? I'm pretty sure it's not. There, finally. Jeez. Okay. And then just have it face this direction, I suppose. And then, I don't know. I guess I'll just put 2 Diplodocus on either side, because I don't think we have a Patasaurus, nor do we have a Brontosaurus. So we'll just put that right there. And then, because again, we have 3 skulls. All 3 of them are different species, but I don't think we're able to properly do that in fossils and archaeology. There we go. Okay. So we'll use that to compare and contrast the different dentition of these sauropods. There's also another block right here that has baby sauropod footprints. And we actually also have like a section over here that has like a baby Apatosaurus sculpture. We won't include that since I already have this, so I guess this room is going to be relatively bare until I can build those blocks that contain the footprints. Now, since we're already in the process of doing it, we might as well put some of the Cretaceous exhibits up here. So first of all, we'll put the Triceratops. There, okay, I almost messed up. So we'll make that larger. The Triceratops we have is actually, it's huge, but it's not fully grown either. So I'll keep it at that. And obviously, like I said, Torosaurus is not in this mod. So instead, I think I'm just going to put Pachyrhinosaurus in this corner. That way it's not so empty, and you still have 2 ceratopsians to compare, I suppose. A Centrosaurine and a Chasmosaurine. I think that's kind of cool. There we go. I like that idea. Centrosaurine, Chasmosaurine. Compare and contrast. I think that's fun. This corner over here, we actually currently have Sophie, who is a Tylosaurus. Now, Sophie used to be downstairs where Stan currently is, but now she's up here in this corner. You want to know what the really cool thing about Sophie is? And obviously, it's a replica. This is not the actual fossil. The same goes for Stan. I don't know if I ever clarified that Stan is a replica. Most of these are replicas. But the really cool thing about Sophie is that she is a Tylosaurus rex. You know, the recently described species of, you know, Tylosaurus rex. Is that the mosasaur? Yeah. Now, I believe this is not actually Tylosaurus, but it's as close as we're probably going to get. Sophie's pretty big too, so I'll try. I guess I'll make it as large as I can. That tail's going through, I bet, but it's fine. It's fine. So Sophie will go right there, and then right here, I actually want to do a platform with this. We will put the quote-unquote Utah Raptor. I can't. Utah Raptor's not in the game, so instead we'll just put another Dromaeosaur and try to make it as large as possible. That looks pretty good. Make it as large as we can. That's pretty big. Yeah, that's actually pretty close to Utah Raptor size, so that kind of works out. Cool. Yeah, we'll do that. All right. So that's the Cretaceous room. There's also some footprints on the back wall of an ornithopod. We also have an Edmontosaurus footprint right here, and some like palm fossils over there. something that represents the fact that, of course, Colorado is very different from during the Cretaceous period than it was from, today, how it is today. Now, I also do have some tar fossils, so we'll get some of these creatures in here. There's a mastodon skull right here, but mastodon is not in the game, so instead I'll just put a mammoth. This is actually where we used to have our woolly mammoth skull. Now it's over there, and we actually used to have some bull snakes and box turtles over there too, to highlight the fact that they are Ice Age survivors, like all of the animals that you see today. That's platybe. Actually, let's just do a platybelodon. And besides, mastodons are not true elephants, and neither is platybelodon, so they're more alike than it first appears. Like that, and we'll make it a little bit larger. And then I actually did this room a little bit incorrectly, but that's fine. We'll put a Smilodon right here because we do have a Smilodon skull that's like hanging on the wall. And obviously I can't make this fella hang on the wall, so instead we'll just do the full skeleton. I mean, we should be getting a Smilodon skeleton eventually that I think is going to go on the fireplace, but I'm not too sure. So we'll do that. We'll put the woolly mammoth right here in this corner, and then we'll make it pretty big like that. And then we have a box right here with a Columbian mammoth jaw. We also have a Columbian mammoth tusk right here that's like hanging on the wall. And yeah, that's pretty good. Now, we also do have a fireplace right here, something that hints at the fact that this used to be a home, a cabin. So we'll put that right here. Make it too large. And then there's actually a painting of like a Pleistocene painting hanging on there. Inside the fireplace we have petrified wood. I won't put anything for now. This is actually not too bad. Not too bad at all. You can go outside and walk on the balcony a little bit. Look at the the mosasaur tail poking through. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with how this is turning out. And I'll just make this my official lab instead of cramming my lab in my house. So all that's left to do is to finish this building. We need to put a roof on the second floor. Put in the rest of the exhibits that we need to put in. This actually looks really cool. Like, I mean, obviously it's very different from the actual Morrison Museum in a few key ways. You know, we don't have this many skeletons just standing here, but it's very cool. I'm actually really happy with how this is turning out. So yeah, we'll finish that next episode. I'll make sure that I have the rest of the materials that are necessary to complete the roof, and we will get her done. I also need to get a pathway built, one that connects this to the rest of the base. But again, I think I want to do most of the paleontology stuff in fossils and archaeology in the lab over there. Like, I think that'll be kind of cool. I think it'll make sense. Anyway, we have been building a while, which means that I think our Dimetrodon is probably pretty close to being fully grown. We'll go and check on her real quick. Whoa! Oh, you need an expanse in your enclosure. At the very least, you need to get a higher roof. Holy cow, that is way bigger than I thought it would be. Holy smokes, you better hope that she doesn't get out, dude. For your sake, am I right? Wow, that is so cool. Let's go and check her out. Doing okay? Wow. That is amazing. I love this model. Those colors are really cool. I love the sail too. Nice. Nice. I like it. Yeah, we'll expand the enclosure in due time. That likely goes for a lot of other enclosures too. But that's all the time I have for now. Thank you all so much for watching today's episode, and have an awesome day.